Wet feet kicked on Michael's chest. I commanded him irritably, "Dry them." He didn't move and stared at the instep of my foot defiantly. "What are you standing there for?" I kicked him several more times on the chest until his collarbone was also wet from my kicks. He let out a groan of pain. Okay. Only then did he reluctantly grab the sole of my foot to dry the water for me. He didn't use a towel but his own collar. Michael is the target of my bullying. The reason I bully him is that this new roommate who transferred here doesn't take a fancy to me. He always looks at me annoyedly in the dormitory. He stared at my waist, my hips, and my legs. When I was washing my feet, he stared at my feet again. I got angry. "What are you looking at? If you keep looking, come here and wash my feet." Who would have thought that he was really intimidated by me? And squatted down. A 190-centimeter tall, dark-skinned sports student. Unexpectedly, he was so spineless and even afraid of me. I wantonly rubbed my foot on his chest again. He is so easy to bully. So I became even more insatiable. After Michael emptied the foot-washing water and climbed into bed, I also crawled into his quilt. The dormitory bed is only 1.5 meters wide. I deliberately spread my legs wide, taking up more space than I needed. Michael's voice trembled. "Dweech, why are you sleeping on my bed?" I edged closer to Michael, boldly taking up even more of his space. "What's wrong with that? I can sleep wherever I want." He was so tall and broad. Being squeezed to the edge of the bed must have been extremely uncomfortable. The more uncomfortable he felt, the better I felt inside. Michael was so scared that he didn't dare move a muscle. I wriggled around wantonly under the quilt. Soon, his face turned red with anger. He was so angry he could barely catch his breath, yet he still didn't dare to curse at me. What a coward. Looking at his useless appearance, I curled my lips in disgust. "The blanket feels so rough, it's actually hurting me." I dragged his arm under my neck to use as a pillow. And the same with this pillow. How am I supposed to sleep on something so low? My body ached from the friction in the middle of the night, so I ended up sleeping clinging to him all night long. When I woke up the next day, Michael looked at me differently. From staring directly at me before to avoiding my eyes in a fluster now. Sure enough, he fears my dominance. I started to relentlessly torment him. When he was brushing his teeth, I would push him aside and squeeze inches. When he was taking a shower, I snatched his towel and said, I insisted on using it to dry myself. When he went to the restroom, I teased him with a mischievous grin. "Show it to me." He was terrified of me, but he would obediently dry each toe for me. Whenever I kicked his chest, my clothes got wet in the process. I chased him to bully him. When Michael was having a meal in the cafeteria, I deliberately sat next to him. The food in the cafeteria was practically inedible and didn't suit my taste at all. Being a bit picky, I scrunched up my nose and picked out the fatty bits I disliked from my bowl, handing them to Michael. Michael didn't dare resist, his eyes tearing up with frustration. Then I picked out all the cilantro and put it on him too. It tastes terrible. Tears welled up in Michael's eyes. He froze with his cheeks puffed out. How did you know I love cilantro?" No sooner had he finished speaking than a girl nearby approached him, asking for Michael's contact information. I stepped forward quickly to block her and kindly reminded her, "Don't ask for his number. Keep your distance from him." That was the second reason I targeted Michael. Michael caused quite a stir because of his good looks when he transferred to our school. But I heard he kept all the girls guessing, never making a move, never refusing, and never taking responsibility. A total player. I figured I was doing everyone a favor by getting rid of him. After turning the girl down, I glanced back with a smug smile. "Didn't work out for you, did it?" Michael's face was wet with tears. I'm jealous. You're not eating dumplings. So what are you jealous about? Did Michael just say he likes cilantro? I must have misheard him. Cilantro is so disgusting. How could anyone possibly like it? And fatty meat. Michael was shoveling fatty meat into his mouth while crying. I stared at him until he had no choice but to eat it. Look how disgusted he looked. I secretly took a picture of him eating and sent it to my friend from another school. "William, this is the guy I deal with every day. Look at him. He was bullied into tears by me and didn't dare to fight back. He's so weak." William was very excited after receiving the photo. "Young master, his shoulders are twice as wide as yours. His muscles are bigger than your face. The person you kick every day is him. Doesn't he hit you back?" I replied calmly. "He wouldn't dare. He's a coward. I just toss my socks to him to wash and feed me when I open my mouth. I've trained him like a dog." To prove I wasn't exaggerating, I filmed a video for William showing Michael feeding me. As soon as I opened my mouth, I stuck out my tongue, and Michael placed a peeled quail egg on it. When his fingers accidentally brushed against my tongue, he turned red with nervousness and pressed his lips together, watching me closely to gauge my reaction. After sending it to William, Michael blushed and asked me in a low voice beside me, "Are you going to post that on Douyin?" I said in a bad tone. "What are you posting it on Douyin for?" His voice dropped even lower. "To document a beautiful life. Record my ass. Post the video of myself bullying someone. Are you expecting me to get cyberbullied?" I thought William would praise me for being awesome after seeing the video. Unexpectedly, William got even more agitated. Henry, are you trying to get yourself killed? Can't you see the veins bulging on his wrist? Don't push your luck. Even a rabbit will bite when cornered. And this is definitely a tiger. If you really push him too far, I bet he'd keep hitting you until he's satisfied. He might spin your bottom around like a top. Just to teach you a lesson. That's impossible. I looked at the tame, well-behaved tiger I had tamed, which was quietly munching on cilantro. The tiger had been so thoroughly tamed that it had even switched to a vegetarian diet. How could there be any danger? I'm full of confidence. Can he really make my butt sore? Next up is my least favorite P class. Not being one for exercise, I was panting heavily and my cheeks turned red after running. Just a few steps, I felt like I was going to pass out, so I ordered Michael to pull me along as he ran. Before I could even reach his hand, I tripped over a stone and fell to the ground. Michael picked me up on his back and ran straight for the infirmary. Slow down, you're jolting me around and making me uncomfortable. What's the rush? I pounded on his broad back, my tone ill-tempered. Michael's voice trembles. Sorry. I pulled you too late. Sure enough, even though I was hurt, he still worried about me. He carried me on his back and dared not speak loudly. I pout. You know it. This is all your fault. It really hurt when they put medicine on the wound. In the infirmary, I was trembling with my knees pulled up, too afraid to straighten them out. Suddenly, Michael beside me speaks up. Henry, bite me. He stretches his hand in front of me. If you're scared of the pain, just bite me. I rolled my eyes. Who said I'm afraid of pain? Seeing that I simply didn't accept his kindness. Looking disappointed, Michael lowered his rolled up sleeves and stepped back to the side like a follower following his boss. When the alcohol was applied, I let out a sharp cry of pain. Michael, come here and bite down on this. But Michael's expression darkened, and he didn't move. My heart sank. Is he rebelling at this critical moment? Could it really be true? Just like William said, that Michael isn't so easy to push around. I stamped my feet anxiously. Come here! What are you standing around for? Stick your hand out and let me bite it. It hurts so much. The next moment, Michael pulled open his collar to expose his shoulder and pressed his neck against my mouth. Bite here. My hands are dirty from playing basketball. My heart sank to the ground. Good thing Michael wasn't planning any trouble. I said he was very obedient and wouldn't dare to do anything to me. Tears welling up in my eyes, I bit his neck. A faint mint scent drifted from his neck. Suddenly, my mind went blank. I only ran during P class. When did he play basketball? I left a mark on Michael's neck. He looked at himself in the front camera of his phone, like it was a mirror, looking quite upset. And he accidentally took a picture by pressing the shutter. My knees hurt, so I lay in bed before sleep and sighed, because I didn't want to get up to wash my feet. Maybe I should just skip washing them tonight. It's fine to go a day without it anyway. Michael paced back and forth under my bed. He was in a complete mess, as if there was something urgent. Why are you pacing around? It's making me dizzy. I complained discontentedly and pulled the bed curtain. But Michael dared to pull open my bed curtain. Why you? What about me? You're in a bad mood today. Who would be in a good mood after falling? I looked at him with drooping eyelids. Fine. After saying that, I pulled the bed curtain again. I lay down and scrolled through my phone out of boredom, coming across a post Michael had just shared. What should I do if he stops kneading?
Someone replied to him, "My pet wouldn't step on it either." Michael replied to him, "It's not that he won't do it. It's just that he suddenly stopped. Kneading? Does a scumbag like Michael also keep a cat?" I watched him through the gap in my bed curtain. He really did look anxious, as if he were genuinely worried about what to do because his cat had stopped kneading dough. It suddenly clicked for me. I don't wash my feet by myself anyway. A leg injury doesn't matter at all. Isn't there still Michael? So I got out of bed and told Michael to come wash my feet for me. While he was wiping my feet, I rested them on Michael's chest. He seemed a bit happy. Was he making fun of me for falling today? I kicked his chest a few times, and Michael winced in pain, stopping his smile while his eyes remained clear and bright. A few sounds of discomfort escaped from his throat, and his Adam's apple bobbed heavily as he swallowed hard. He was wiping my feet while discussing. "Hey, there's a new movie coming out this weekend. Do you want to see it? I'll buy the tickets." I was relaxing, scrolling through my phone while chatting with William. "William, want me to set you up with a girlfriend?" Me, "Sure. When should I meet her?" William, "How about this weekend? There's also a newly opened braised chicken with potatoes restaurant. I bought a group by coupon." I only then noticed Michael was talking to me. "Sounds good. Send me the QR code once you've bought it." I replied to William, "Okay. I'll take her to see the new movie and eat at the new braised chicken with potatoes place." Then I looked up and reminded Michael, By the way, remember to buy 2 tickets. Michael blushed and looked down, his hand still holding my foot. Yeah, I know. So where are we staying tonight? I continued to finish the sentence. Because I'm bringing a girl along to see it. What? Michael suddenly let go. My foot fell back into the basin as gravity took over, splashing water everywhere and soaking my face. I got mad. What are you doing? My feet were just clean, and now they're wet again. Michael suddenly stood up, clenching his fists. Under the light, a large human-shaped shadow loomed over me aggressively. What did you say? Who are you going to watch with? He looked quite intimidating standing up like that. But I knew he was timid and just putting on a show. So I stood up in the basin and yelled at him. With a pretty girl. How about that? Jealous? You were the one who offered to buy me the ticket, not someone forcing you. Michael seemed to be acting out of character today. He had a lot of nerve. His mood was quite low. I bought the tickets for you willingly, but only the 2 of us can go. I looked at him curiously. Is your head okay today? Are you rebelling or something? Why should I go with you? Michael wasn't scared. Instead, he had a gloomy face. You have to come with me, or are you planning to rebel? What rebellion of mine are you talking about? Haven't I always been rebelling? I just realized that the Michael William had warned me about is an untamable tiger. Michael grabbed my waist with one hand and pinned me against the bedpost with the other. He lowered his head and kissed me. Don't go. Why did he kiss me? Plus, there was still foot-washing water splashed on my lips just now. Doesn't it smell? I slumped on the edge of the bed in a daze. I secretly watched Michael, who had just kissed me, and went to the bathroom to wash my socks. Michael's broad back was visible as he humbly washed what I considered his spoils, just like he always did. When he kissed me earlier, Michael insisted that I say, I won't go see that girl, before he would let me off the hook. He left me completely drained after kissing me, making it hard to even breathe. Only then did I reluctantly agree to his unreasonable request. I'm not going. Okay. No way. You're coming with me. But I. Only then did Michael let go of my swollen lips. I collapsed onto the bed, feeling like a reluctant bride. Has Michael lost his mind? Why is he so bold today? His cat doesn't need. So why is he angry at me? Oh, I see. Michael just mentioned that girl frequently. It had to be because of last time at the cafeteria. I stopped that girl from getting his contact info, ruining his plan to add another fish to his pond. This is his revenge on me. So he also won't allow me to date girls. I took out my phone and sent a message to William. Hey, something came up this weekend. Can't make it. What? I already told that girl we'd go. You're backing out now? Are you messing with me? Young master, please help me apologize. I really can't make it because something came up. William is quite perceptive. He's probably just more familiar with me, so he immediately noticed something was off. Are you okay, Henry? Did something happen? I held back from saying anything to save face. I'm fine. I just genuinely have other matters to attend to. I couldn't exactly tell him that a grown man had forcibly kissed me. My legs felt weak from the encounter, and I was still quite worked up. It's so embarrassing no matter how I think about it. I closed my phone in frustration, adjusted my pants, and thought again of what William had told me. He was right. Even the gentlest creature will fight back if pushed too far. Even a tiger that seems docile and easy to bully in the park could snap and cause serious harm to someone trying to take a photo with it under long-term pressure. Everyone has their limits, no matter how honest they seem. Michael is not an exception and will eventually reach his breaking point. His kisses are affectionate. It's really terrifying. I'd better stop bullying him. I'm really afraid he might one day kiss me to death. I seriously suspect that when he kisses me, he's competing with me in lung capacity. My lung capacity is not as good as his. He could easily leave me breathless from all those kisses. It would be a rather effective way to end things. Honestly, I hobbled over to the bathroom balcony to grab the clean socks Michael had just washed. I can hang them up myself. But he put down the socks and carried me into the room. As usual, he laid me horizontally on his bed. "Stay there. I'll be back to sleep in a bit." I've decided not to bully him anymore and don't want to deliberately crowd him on his bed. I pursed my lips and started climbing down from the bed. "Come on. It's way too cramped for two people to sleep in such a small bed." Michael's gaze darkened. I froze for a moment as I was getting down. His eyes suddenly lit up. "Do you mean you want to stay somewhere else tonight? What's the point of staying out? I'm a bit nervous. Is there something you can only do by staying out? Beat me up to take revenge? Or kiss me until I lose consciousness and secretly bury the body?" Michael noticed my hesitant expression. "Don't you want to go outside?" I shook my head. "I'm not ready to die yet." "Then just stay in my bed." Thinking about how messy I looked from that kiss, I was still shaken and could only reluctantly lie back down. That night, Michael acted normally and even made a lot of room for me. Everything was normal the next day, and he didn't resist me anymore. On the weekend, Michael took me to see a movie as promised. I clung to Michael's arm, shivering uncontrollably. "Didn't you say we were coming to see a comedy? Why is it a horror movie?" Michael scratched his head and explained seriously. "Sorry, I bought the wrong one." I watched the whole movie with a stiff upper lip. I ended up pinching Michael's arm until it was bruised all over, but he didn't dare say a word. That's when I finally dared to confirm it. Michael is still the same Michael who is afraid of me. He was just reacting to the pressure for a moment. Under normal circumstances, he wouldn't dare to defy me. After the movie, Michael and I went out for food. I usually picked out the tough chicken skin and put it on Michael's plate, and he didn't dare refuse. When I tossed cilantro into his bowl, he looked a bit like he was about to cry from being teased again. That's when a girl came over and asked for my contact information. Excited, I reached for my phone to show her the QR code. Michael suddenly blocked the phone screen. He flatly turned down the girl without any expression. Another good marriage opportunity of mine was cut off by him. Then it clicked for me. It seemed that as long as girls weren't involved, Michael would just let me mess with him. He was simply jealous of any guy who might outshine him in charm. Pure jealousy. Isn't his own big dating pool big enough? On the way back to school, Michael and I happened to come across a fireworks display by the river. The crowd was packed around the center where there was a traditional molten iron fireworks show. I stood on my tiptoes and stretched my neck to get a better view, and Michael volunteered his help. "Let me carry you. Since there are no girls involved, I can bully him." I sat on his shoulders and watched the performance clearly. While I was having a great time riding on his shoulders, I suddenly saw a familiar figure in the crowd. Holding on to Michael's head, I slipped down stealthily. "Why aren't you watching anymore?" Michael put me down on the ground. "I see the counselor." My face turned red. Michael wasn't nervous at all and didn't avoid it, but he blushed and slowly took my hand. "What's the big deal if they see us? We're in college now. If we get caught, we just own up to it. Admit that I bullied someone? Admit that I was pushing my luck? So the one getting scolded wasn't you. In short, I resumed my torment of Michael for a while. When he was eating, I snatched the bun he had taken a bite of. He was drinking milk, so I licked every last drop from his cup. When he tried to sleep, I put my cold feet on his stomach for warmth. He claimed it was just a way to cool down. I knew he was simply looking for an excuse, too afraid to resist me. I didn't argue with him anymore. Michael is very afraid of me. He washes my feet and lets me kick him in the chest. As long as girls weren't involved, I wasn't in danger of getting my lips smashed. So I went drinking with the guys. I got completely wasted. When Michael caught me, I felt a draft on my butt. "Why didn't you tell me that you went out drinking?" "What would I tell you for? Why should I keep you posted?" "That was really strange. Why should I report to you?" "With whom?" "With William. But why should I tell him?" My face was slightly flushed. "What's it to you?" Michael grabbed my wrist. I glared at him cross-eyed. "Don't move around, or I'll kick you." But just as I lifted my foot, Michael grabbed my ankle again. What are you doing? Let me go. Just as I was pinned and unable to move, the class bell rang at just the right moment. In this self-study class, the teacher showed an anti-bullying movie. I took the medicine Michael gave me to help sober up, and my mind gradually cleared. The content of the movie was shocking. When I saw the serious parts of the plot, I nervously looked back to observe Michael's expression. Michael was sitting in the back row, looking very aggrieved. Oh my gosh, have I been too harsh on him lately? Seeing this movie, Michael must be relating it to himself. He looked like he was about to cry. After the whole movie ended, I felt deeply moved. Listening to the counselor's speech against bullying made me feel even more guilty. My actions must have caused Michael significant emotional distress. During the break, I found Michael and apologized to him. I decided to turn over a new leaf. Michael, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done that. I hurt you, and that was my fault. You can do whatever you want to me, but I just want your forgiveness. I lowered my head and bit my lip. Michael's eyes were red. Then please don't do that anymore. I never did it again. From that day on, I sincerely repented and stopped bullying Michael. I also kept my distance from Michael and stopped chasing him to bully him. Nor did I let him wash my feet anymore. But Michael seemed to be angry with me. Not only was he angry with me, but he also kept posting updates worrying about his cat. What should I do if he stops kneading? What if he suddenly stops kneading? How can I get him to start kneading again? I carefully communicated with Michael. Michael, are you still upset with me? He looked at me with a very distorted expression. I lowered my head. Michael, I get it now. I know I was wrong, and it's only natural that you wouldn't forgive me so easily, but I'll do my best to earn your forgiveness. So as soon as the bell rang after the evening self-study, I rushed onto the podium and apologized to Michael in public. A man should be brave enough to take responsibility for his actions. I'll correct the mistakes I made before. Michael. My voice trembled as I called out, and everyone looked up at me. I want to formally apologize for bullying you. I'll reflect on my actions carefully and stay far away from you in the future. I won't come near you again. As soon as I finished speaking, Michael stepped onto the stage and hugged me. Michael stepped onto the stage and hugged me. Why stay away from me? Wifey. He started crying. Why won't you let me wash your little white socks today? Wife. I've warmed the bed for you. Wife. Will you still come to my bed and cuddle with me tonight? Why don't you put your fragrant feet on my chest anymore? Wife. What wife? The students in the audience were stunned. I was shocked too. Who is your wife? Michael held me and started crying. Wife, I was wrong. I shouldn't have been harsh with you for going out to drink. Please don't be angry with me. Okay. You haven't slept in the same bed with me recently. The students in the audience gasped. They've been sleeping together this whole time? Michael pulled my wrist and lifted it up, announcing to the class, Henry and I have been together for a long time. I hope everyone can accept gay couples. Who said we're together? I jumped up in shock. Let go of my hand. Michael kissed me directly. Don't say things like that just because you're upset. My dear, it's all my fault for making you angry. A few girls in the stunned crowd below came out of their daze and reacted. Henry, please forgive your husband. Don't threaten to break up just because he got jealous when you went out for drinks. Henry, we don't think there's anything wrong with two guys being together. You shouldn't feel embarrassed to admit it. We all understand. This is so sweet. The husband publicly coaxing his upset wife. It's making this girl's heart flutter and grow roots like a sprout. Henry, don't say hurtful things to anger your husband. If you're together, just be together. It's no big deal. Who said we were together? I could explain it 100 times and it still wouldn't make sense. In the end, amidst everyone's cheers, I was carried away by Michael. What were you saying out there? I wasn't talking nonsense. Aren't we dating? We aren't dating. I'm just bullying you. Nonsense. You are definitely dating me. Michael frowned, confused, and presented countless evidence. We've kissed. watched movies together, stuck to each other every day, slept in the same bed, and even enjoyed that sweet sparkler display. I was momentarily unable to refute. Is this what dating is supposed to be like? Am I in a relationship with Michael? Why don't you say I kicked you too? Michael blinked. Needing? What needing? I was so angry that my face turned red. Why don't you say I was beating you instead? Michael blinked. Do you mean our flirting? Who is flirting with you? How can two guys be flirting? Michael reached out to hug me. Wifey. I pushed Michael away and ran. Stay away from me. It's so embarrassing to call a grown man wifey. Besides, I don't like guys at all. Although I ignored Michael. But Michael kept following me around. Wife, have some milk. Looking at the cup he handed me, I pushed it away in annoyance. I don't want any, and I'm not your wife. Michael looked a bit disappointed and bit his lip tightly. You don't have to be my wife to drink this. Come on, just a little bit. You've lost so much weight. I got stressed out because of you. You kissed me in front of everyone. Michael buried his head deeply. Wifey, I was wrong. Then he carefully tugged at the corner of my clothes. Wifey, I've warmed up the bed. Do you want to come sleep in my arms tonight? What do you mean hug? Can't you tell I was just trying to get closer to you before? Is he a stupid donkey? I couldn't help but laugh at his cluelessness. Michael scratched his head and laughed foolishly. It's fine. I don't mind being squished by my wife. Then he crouched down beside me and rolled up my pant legs. Looking serious and obedient. Sweetheart, why don't you wash your feet first? My collar today is really absorbent, so it'll definitely dry things off better. I pulled my foot back with all my might, but accidentally kicked over the water basin in the process. The water from the basin splashed all over the floor. My chest heaved violently. I already told you, I'm not your wife. Michael wasn't angry at all. He picked up the mop and bent down to carefully clean the puddle on the floor. Stop being upset. How about I stop calling you wife and call you baby instead? No. Michael was very patient with me. Knowing I wasn't ready to openly accept his kindness, he would secretly wash my socks, bring me delicious snacks, leave hot milk on my desk, and even summarize all the key study points for the upcoming exam and copy them out for me. Before class started again, he asked me once more if I wanted to eat together after school. I had already rejected him for the 8th time. I even felt a bit soft-hearted after so many rejections. He just wanted to have a meal with me. It's not like I'll become his wife just by having a meal with him. Maybe I should just say yes to him this once. After class, I moved slowly and awkwardly toward Michael's seat. Before I even got close, I saw him surrounded by a group of girls. Michael was smiling brightly amidst the crowd of females. I suddenly remembered that Michael is a player. Coincidentally, Michael looked up and made eye contact with me. I clenched my fists and turned away to leave. Michael pushed through the crowd and caught up with me. Hey, are you really not going to eat together? I felt inexplicably irritated. I already said I wasn't joining, so why do you keep asking? I was just afraid you might change your mind at the last minute. There's no way I would change my mind. I walked quickly with my head down, feeling inexplicably angry. Later, I found that Michael was indeed flirting with many girls. More and more girls came to him. Michael really lived up to that saying. No rejection, no initiative, and no responsibility. He accepted every girl who came his way. Even when he was just walking behind me, girls were still greeting him. He responded to them enthusiastically. I just couldn't help but frown. Turning around, I shouted at Michael, who was still smiling. Michael! Stop following me. Michael was taken aback by my outburst, his eyes welling up slightly. Darling, you're still mad about it, right? I was so angry I could barely catch my breath. Pointing at the girl walking away in the distance, I said, look how enthusiastically he replies to every other woman. Go follow her. Michael was a bit dazed. Why should I follow her? I gritted my teeth. You don't have to follow her. You can go after the girl with the bow in her hair from this morning. Go after the one with the big eyes at the dorm entrance yesterday afternoon. Follow the one with the beauty mark and slender legs from the day before. Or go after that group of girls who were laughing around you 2 days ago. For some reason, my eyes were a bit sore and my voice was a bit aggrieved. You have plenty of people around you anyway, so don't follow me. As the tears fell, I turned my head away so Michael wouldn't see. Michael hugged me tightly. My face was buried in his firm and well-defined pectoral muscles. Michael finally realized what was happening. Are you jealous? I wiped my snot on his clothes. So, there are so many people who like you that jealousy would have to queue up, and I'm definitely not going to join the line. Michael pulled me close and unlocked his phone screen to show me. None of these people reaching out to me lately actually like me. The last time I made our relationship public, they were just shipping us together, teaching me how to woo my wife. Some are even writing fanfiction about us. You don't believe me? Just take a look. They all say you're good at keeping your options open. That's just a rumor. My phone is clean, and I'm completely faithful. I stared straight ahead with one eye while secretly glancing down at the screen with the other. My lips were still mumbling softly. What's that got to do with me? Then she moved her body closer to Michael's arms. You know, it's actually pretty nice to be held like this in this weather. Michael noticed my body getting closer. Can I call you my wife now? I was about to say something when my phone vibrated twice. William sent me a message. After seeing the message, I pushed Michael away and shook my head desperately. No, absolutely not. I had taken a long leave of absence. I ignored all of Michael's calls and messages. He couldn't find out where I was, and William couldn't reach me either. The next time Michael saw me was when I came out of another school. I realized I had fallen for Michael the moment I felt that sharp pang of discomfort seeing him greet another girl. But how could I be worthy of loving Michael? Michael is so nice. Even when I bullied him, he mistook it for my way of getting close to him. But I'm just the opposite. I actually wanted to bully him. If it weren't for that text message William sent me, asking, by the way, why haven't you mentioned that roommate you've been teasing lately? I would have forgotten what kind of person I really am. Although I didn't cause Michael any real harm, and my hitting or kicking him was more annoying than painful, in fact, to Michael, probably just felt like playful teasing. But the truth is, I had thought about bullying him, and it's also true that I intentionally kicked him. Just because I heard some false rumors, I treated him like this. Actually, he led a clean private life and was a good person. I judged him solely based on hearsay and developed the urge to bully him. I'm a bad person. I kept my head down and swept silently until a teacher came over to pat my shoulder. Today's volunteer activity is over. We'll call you next time there's an anti-bullying campaign. Hey, I put on my backpack and went out. I met Michael at the school gate. Where have you been these past few days? Michael hugged me tightly into his arms. I've been so worried about you. Honey, silly dog, still calling me wife. Michael saw the volunteer vest I was wearing and read it out softly. Anti-school bullying lecture volunteer. You went to be a volunteer, wifey? I felt a surge of shame and shouted out. Don't you understand at all? I'm in this state, and you still call me wife. Do you have any idea that while I seemed close to you, what I was actually thinking about was harming you? After treating you this way and you still don't blame me, why are you so kind? I am not even worthy of being your wife. You. Michael kisses my lips. Wife, I don't blame you. Actually, you really haven't done anything to me. It was just your own idea of bullying. We're lying together. You came to sleep in my bed. Who else would think that's bullying besides yourself? I answered him with a muffled voice. But I also misunderstood you as a playboy, so I bullied you. I shouldn't have jumped to conclusions about you based on rumors, and I certainly shouldn't have let those false assumptions lead me to want to harm you. Wouldn't it be embarrassing for someone like you to be with a person like that? Michael strokes my head. But you realized your mistake and corrected it. You even volunteered to share this lesson with more people. Being with you isn't embarrassing at all. My love, I'm very proud of you. At night, I was lying on the king-size bed in the hotel, holding my lower back. A student who attended today's event called me. Daniel, I was really touched by your representative speech today. There's just one thing I don't quite understand. You mentioned that bullying others randomly would lead to serious consequences. What exactly are those consequences? The consequence is, Michael, please be gentler. I hung up the phone. My hands shook as I typed to that student. Physical and mental agony. From Michael's perspective.
On the day I moved into the new dormitory, I saw Henry at a glance. I couldn't believe it. He was so cute with his brown curls, clean white shirt, and standing only about 5 feet 6 inches tall. Since that day, I can't help but steal glances at him every day. Steal glances at his waist, his hips, and his legs. His feet are also fair and delicate. He is a real beauty. The next second, that stunning figure told me to come over. I swallowed my excitement and immediately went to him. He actually asked me to touch his feet. Such a private place. He must like me, the little thing even needs. He came to sleep on my bed. He even wanted to rest his head on my arm. What else could it be if it's not that he likes me? What else could this be if it's not love? My arm went numb from the pressure, but I didn't dare move all night, for fear of making him uncomfortable. Henry is very delicate. His body would turn red, even when it rubbed against the coarse fabric of my quilt. I have to get a silk bedspread for my wife when I wake up tomorrow. It's what any boyfriend should do. After all, we've been sleeping together. I'm so nervous in my first relationship. I dare not look at my wife, and I'm afraid to make eye contact with him.
He'll bump his butt against me and play around with me while brushing his teeth. He would use one towel with me to wipe ourselves down. Even when we were in the bathroom, he'd casually share some playful and intimate words. He secretly found out that I love cilantro, so he gave me all the cilantro from his bowl along with the fatty meat he usually hated eating. The best part is, he really does kneading. Is this what it's like to be in a relationship? So happy. He'll also get jealous for me.
My wife fell, and it broke my heart, but I played a little trick and asked him to leave a mark on my neck, so everyone would know I was taken. Leaving a mark on me so that everyone can see that I have a wife. What if my wife stops being affectionate?
But she is. But my wife is going to the movies with a pretty girl. I got upset. Why didn't she go with her husband instead? I kissed him. Disobedient. A playful wife really just needs a kiss to be happy. I picked a horror movie and watched my wife hide in my arms out of fear. He held onto my arm tightly. We did many things that young couples do together, like watching movies, eating out, and viewing fireworks. My first date with her was so sweet. If the professor asks, I'll just say I pursued her. She cares so much about her dignity that she'd never admit to crawling into my bed first. She went out for drinks with another guy. I'm about to lose it. Why didn't she even tell me she just went drinking with another guy? And so much. I confronted her, and I was really angry. While watching that anti-bullying movie, all I could think about was how jealous I felt. My wife stopped massaging me again. My wife is mad at me, but I don't know why he said he bullied me. I thought he had gotten confused from watching the movie, so I hugged him tightly. Darling, the bed is warm now. Come back to my place tonight and sleep with me. My wife said he's not my wife. I think he's so worked up from anger that he's talking nonsense. We've been together for such a long time, and suddenly he claims I'm not his wife. My wife is so angry that he refuses to admit he's my wife every day. I was so worried. Where did my wonderful wife go? Just like that, she was gone. My wife really thinks he bullied me. Simply shocking. But he said he's turned over a new leaf and participated in anti-bullying campaigns. Although I didn't feel like he was bullying me, I think it's right for him to do volunteer work. Right things need more people to promote. I also joined the volunteer work, and my wife even invited his friend William. So he was the one she went out drinking with. My wife is back. She smells so good. My wife is really delicate. I barely exerted any effort. Yet he clutched his pillow and cried all night long. So cute.